Welcome to an episode of Nerds Who Get Laid.
Sometimes.
I think sometimes.
An episode.
Yeah.
Not a great episode. This will just be an episode.
Just a flash in the pan.
A episode.
We're not shooting for the stars here, guys.
Listen,
Yeah.
I've learned to just set the bar where it needs to be set.
True. I mean, true.
We're staying low on this one, guys.
Yeah, and this is an episode. All right,
This is an episode.
Yeah. This won't be one
We're not going to bullshit you.
that we.
This is an episode.
We're not going to self-reference back to this one. I don't know. We might.
The
But,
night is young.
Yeah.
And my glass is half full.
There we go. So tonight it is. We got Ray.
Hey.
We got Charles, and we
How you
got
doing?
TJ
Hey.
and myself.
Nate, dog.
Yeah,
Nathan.
Nate.
Wearing that nice new...
Oh, did you notice?
I did notice.
This is a nice shirt too. I have to
It
say.
is a pretty nice shirt. Nate is wearing the his Batman vs Superman.
Is it the Legion of Collectors or their Collector's Legion?
I don't know actually. It's one
it's
of
a
those.
DC
Yeah.
box.
DC, yeah,
Yeah,
Funko
DC's
box.
new box.
yeah. It's a
Set
new
up like an
Funko
old,
box.
like looks like
So-
a Mexican
yeah,
boxing poster.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I like. To,
So-
It's pretty sweet.
So real quick, tell us what you got.
so all right. So here goes the thing.
I got a box.
Yeah, I got a box. I got a box of stuff from them. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while, and I avoided all spoilers. Very hard to do.
Which
Yeah.
is real hard to
Real
do.
hard to do.
Yeah, I just saw them this morning.
Unfortunately, I mean, I knew the big one. I knew it was going to be armored Batman, and no matter what, I was like, "That's what I want." You know, I would have paid $25 just to get that pop. So I got that, and I was very happy. I do like the shirt, but it wasn't a whole lot. There wasn't a lot of meat and potatoes in the box. It came with the Funko, came with the shirt. It came with a set of Adorbs.
Well, that's
and
$25.
It,
Easy
yeah,
right there.
It is. And honestly, that was $25 right away. It came with a set of Adorbs. And I do have to say, I'm not a big Adorbs fan, but they were nice.
Me
It was the same as the Batman vs Superman Walmart exclusives, that green
They're the
tint.
glow in dark.
Yeah, it was Aquaman
Did
and Superman.
Have you guys got those yet?
I don't want them.
I haven't found them.
I didn't know
Yeah.
if you... Oh,
No,
you
they're
wanted
not
them?
this one.
Yeah.
They were the other night.
Where
they
at?
were?
The Lake City Walmart, they were up there
Where were they at?
on the toy aisle.
Oh man,
Really?
I didn't go to the toy aisle.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about them. I'm like, nah, they already got them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I only want them to trade.
Yeah, I want them for trade, but I want the Toys R Us, the chrome.
The metallic.
It's the exact
ones.
same thing, but it's chrome. I'm not big on the glow in the dark ones, to be honest.
I'm not big on the when they're that tinted because a lot of other ones are glow in the dark and they're just white or colored or whatever.
It's a very heavy green they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might be
I do
running-
like. Funny enough, I haven't gotten him yet. The bluish Hot Topic Aquaman. We're talking about pops. I don't know if we even threw that
Funko
out.
Pops,
Funko
which
Pops.
was part. Any of the collectors things that are there
Yeah.
lately are all pretty much fueled by Funko.
Yeah,
And-
but I do like that bluish Aquaman one. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. But the Adorbs, like, they were nice, and if I was a fan of Adorbs, I would have been really happy, but I'm not. So that just got given
Yeah.
to my son. I got it came with the comic, Batman vs Superman, or a Batman Superman, not verse.
Yeah.
And then a pin and a patch. I have to say,
Yeah.
the pin was extremely nice. It was a
Yeah.
black and white Superman.
All the Marvel ones have come with the pins.
Yeah.
and all of the pins I love.
It was a Wonder Woman's patch. So
That's cool.
overall, like I said, and it was one of those things. I knew about the Batman, so therefore some of the excitement was taken out of it. If I wouldn't have knew that was in there, I would have loved it. I would have been like,
Yep.
"This is amazing." But knowing that everything else was, shirt's cool and everything,
Yeah.
so I give it like a 5 out of a 10 overall experience. But that pop is absolutely a 10. It's nice. It's very nice. So
Now you just do the one box, or do you do the subscription like Ray did?
it's on to auto replenish. So every
Okay.
2 months I'll have one.
So the other day I came home from the mail and there was this in there and Allison grabbed the mail and she's like, "What did you order from?" I see this says Funko on it. What did you order? And for my first year of being a collector core person and founder, I have what looks like
An Oscar.
an Oscar that is a Captain America, and it's way bigger and heavier than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
But it's just kind of a weird thing
Founder?
that they sent me. Yeah, that's my gift for being 1 year
Oh, wow,
in.
that is heavier than you think.
Neat. Not really. I don't think
Yeah,
that's my
I would have
style.
never bought it.
No,
There's
but
only like
it's
4 on eBay.
It's,
so.
it's a cool thing to
Yeah.
get for...
Give it a few months,
No,
you might be
yeah,
able to
yeah.
sell it. But I don't know, the collector boxes things, I mean, they're definitely popular. It's it's kind of now like there's so many out there. There's this it's a Smuggler's Bounty. There's a Star Wars one. There's Marvel.
Well,
there's
Funko,
DC.
Funko caught on because Loot Crate was using some of their stuff,
and Loot Crate was pretty partnered up with them at first. And I think Funko's like, why are we using these guys when we could do it ourselves?
Yeah, because now I think they have 2 Star Wars ones, a DC one and a Marvel one, I believe. And I think there's about to be, I don't know if it's a Funko one there, but there's about to be, what do they call it? I forget what they call it, but there's a specifically to like brown coats Firefly one that's going to be coming out.
Oh. Well, when they do a Transformers one, let me know.
There you go.
And that probably won't be too long, honestly, as much as these collectors.
Yeah,
but I got a Hot Rod this week.
You posted some pictures of that. That was really cool.
It's a lot nicer in person than the pictures do justice. So, it's got a lot of cool features to it. That really impressed with. Comes with the fishing pole that he has in the movie,
which is funny.
It is awesome.
It's that kind of detail that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It has like a flip out goggles, so you can like recreate him like doing the telescopic vision. The chest even opens up to take a Matrix from Optimus Prime, and he doesn't come with one. You have to take Optimus Primes from him and put it in there.
Of course.
So you got to kill your Optimus Prime in order to put it in Hot Rod.
Kind of smart, Kind of smart.
Exactly.
And then, was it last week or was this week that you got?
It was this week. It was
Charles got
Wednesday.
some too.
Charles moved up.
Yeah,
moved on up.
Like the Jeffersons.
Yeah, got new underwear finally. We have been complaining for months.
Well, he just hasn't been wearing any.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's just been
and
free
there's
balling.
holes in
Probably
his.
chafing.
Yeah.
but it was comfortable though.
Yeah.
I understand.
I mean,
that.
y'all may not enjoy
you
it,
should
but I
zip
feel
up
great.
though.
Yeah, that's well. It's more the robe that he wears that's open. Side note, though, he got a PS4 also.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Finally.
Thank you. Now I just
When's the internet get installed?
probably this week when I get paid again.
All right, so you have finally now made it to, and good choice of system too. I'd say so many people are idiots and they get a Xbox. So I'm just glad to see
or a
that.
PC.
Yeah,
You schmucks.
you master
PCs
race.
aren't for gaming.
Yeah.
They're only for Google and
Yeah, a solitaire maybe.
Ooh.
Occasionally porn.
Yeah.
But I realized I'm so far removed from games. I'm really bad at the 2 I got.
Oh,
Actually, 3. I got 3.
Mine's
My
been
bad.
gone for a month getting repaired. I got it back, plugged it in. It's been gone for a month. Didn't work. I was so pissed. So I got on chat with PlayStation, and we got worked out. It was a setting they had set something weird. It works now. We were just watching some stuff on it. It looks great. I got back on Battlefront. I'm like, yeah, I'm fixing it. Man, I sucked so bad. So only being gone for a month, I'm so bad.
I played some and I still suck, and I play a lot.
Yeah.
So don't worry. It's more of the experience, man. And doing it. So, guys, I have to ask this question before we jump into the news.
Okay.
And it's something I kind of even wrote down because it popped in my head, and the question is, why the vape hate? People hate on vapors a lot. I was like people that vape. There's been some funny stuff I saw online, like with the Magic convention, everybody could do the free vape, and so the question,
I think wasn't it a vape convention, but
well,
Magic
it was a vape convention,
got...
across the street from or across the hall from Magic.
Oh, okay.
But if you're doing the Magic convention, you got into the vape
for
convention.
free.
And the question is, do we actually hate vaping, or do we hate the people that are doing it? Is it the
It's
people?
the people that are doing it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like vegans.
Because
I'm
here
going
goes,
to say the reason I hate vaping and the people that do it is because a lot of them, and not all of them, there are some that are very considerate and everything, but a lot of them are very inconsiderate. And, I'll be sitting in a restaurant and they're smoking their chocolate raspberry whatever. And it's just blowing in my face while I'm trying to eat dinner.
Well, I think the issue is that came from it. And I was saying about this because when they first came out, there wasn't all these flavors, and most restaurants were like, yeah, you can do your vaping here because it's it's water vapors. It doesn't really matter. And now it's all about the smells, and it can be aggravating. Because I was looking at reasons. I was like, reasons I like people that vape. It's like you don't smell like cigarettes after you get done.
Yeah.
You don't have to smell the cigarette smoke. I don't have to walk outside for you to smoke a cigarette to have a conversation. And it's not 1994. Smoking isn't cool anymore.
See, when I smoked cigarettes, that was half of what I enjoyed. It would be a time when I could break away from the group and I'll have a one-on-one conversation with other people. Be like, hey, come on outside with me.
And then I was like, and other reasons, I was like, are these the reasons we hate it? Is it because they make a hobby out of it? Is it because people that vape wear cargo shorts and fedoras a lot, and they have chin strap beards? I mean, is it all those things that just make us hate it?
I think it's just the type of
altogether.
Yeah, I think it's more of the type of people that do it.
Yeah.
Are kind of the type of people that will just
rub us wrong.
Yeah.
Well, and also we have to take into account we're the type of people that like to hate people. We like to hate things.
Very, very hate central group.
Oh, absolutely.
Touche, Ray.
Yeah. Like I work with some people that vape, but they'll do it when they go on their smoke break. So it's not a big deal to me. It doesn't bother me. But like if I'm going into Walmart or I'm out in public and I'm walking by somebody and some jackass fucking 19-year-old just decides to take a big hit and blow it out in the air, I'm like,
it seems very
really,
pretentious.
Dude? Really?
You know,
yeah.
You know what I dislike, and at one point it
wait,
kind
are we doing this again? Are we doing TJ's?
Hold on.
What does TJ hate?
TJ hate.
We
TJ's
can do a TJ's hate corner
TJ's
for this
pissed.
if you want.
TJ's pissed.
No, it's smoke breaks in general.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why should when I was a manager, why should I give you an extra break that I don't give other people so you can go fulfill your nicotine habit?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And now it's just a regular employee. It's like, why should you go outside and get a free 10-minute break, and then if I decide not to work for 5 minutes, I'm yelled at because I'm not doing something.
Yeah.
That's just one of my little things.
No, yeah. I
So why can't I just go have like a coffee break? Leave me alone for 5 minutes while I go have my coffee.
And I think
what's the difference?
Legally, I don't think they can really. They're not supposed to really do anything to you. You're supposed to be given a certain amount of break. But I think
everywhere gets a break. Yeah,
yeah.
You get a law. You get a 15-minute break every 4 hours,
or you get an hour lunch break.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
It's one of those things. Like
it's an either or.
I work in a corporation, and we went to it, and you can't tell people no on cigarettes on smoke breaks. As long
I'm
as
going to declare my right for a coffee break.
Yeah. Yeah. Just be like, hey, I'm smoking, and then stand outside and stare off for 10 minutes. See, to me, I prefer someone that is a vaporino, as I like to call them, because if they go out and they don't come back and they don't reek of cigarettes. I have a very sensitive nose, and I'm very easily offended by chin straps, but as much as cigarettes, the same thing. Because cigarettes, I don't think people are.
I think it's the fedora too.
Yeah, it's the fedoras on there. So
yeah,
but I just had to pose that question before we got over to Ray.
That's a thinker.
Yeah,
that's a thinker.
Next time you go to hate someone
remember
that
why.
vapes,
it was pretty easy to remember why I didn't like them.
Ask yourself: is it the person or the hobby?
It's definitely the person.
It's like seeing the future. I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, that's the future. That in 1980s, if they would have shown people
isn't it amazing?
Empty corner.
Isn't it amazing how the vapes have gotten larger?
There are these machines that also I knew a guy that had one that would charge his iPhone. Or there was ones that you put your iPhone into. It was a case, and the top had a nozzle that you could vape out of.
That's so weird.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it figures it would be an iPhone case though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So all right, let's go Ray with the news.
Now it's time for Ray with the news. Old man Hancock gonna tell the news. Listen to the news. Listen to the news. Old man Hancock telling all the news. Don't snooze, you're gonna lose. 'Cause it's gonna tell some nerd news. Nerd news. Nerd news. Here we go, Ray.
Welcome back to Nerd News on Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes. This is Ray, your nerd host.
Hey, Ray.
Your nerd news host. That was pretty professional, wasn't it?
That was
Nerd news
good.
host?
That was good. Except for when you
Sound like-
except for
how
when I
good you
messed
thought,
up.
yeah.
Sound like Walter Cronkite.
This is Ray with the news.
Welcome to Nerd News with Ray.
How the
So,
comic book page crumbles.
Man, can I steal that? Can that be my catchphrase?
I love Page Crumbles.
So, Netflix. We got Daredevil coming out this week,
Yeah.
isn't it?
18th, right?
16th.
16th.
Yeah.
I think
it's the
16th.
18th.
16th.
Okay. Well, soon. It's coming out soon.
Bones are coming
And
out.
they also announced the date that Luke Cage will hit, which will be September 30th.
Yep.
Which is
Luke Cage
cool.
hits all the time.
Yeah,
Just ask him.
everything. He'll hit it. It don't matter.
He knocks the dust off it.
So, yeah, Cage is coming up before the Iron Fist now.
No, yeah. That's always been.
He always was.
But Iron Fist is supposed to be in Luke Cage.
Ooh.
Okay.
So that might be fun. Daisy Ridley. I'm sorry.
Ridley. Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, you're right. I just completely wrote it wrong. Okay, the girl from Star Wars. They're looking at.
Did you just mix Ray and Finn's names together?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you're some kind of like Team
Stroke.
Jacob crap or something.
Yeah. Well, they're
He's
looking
a
at her to
DJ
be
of the news.
that she's in the mix to possibly be the new Lara Croft.
Okay, I can see that.
I feel like she might be too sweet looking. She doesn't have I don't know.
Did you
Maybe
play the reboot?
Huh?
Did you play the Tomb Raider
No,
reboot?
I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't
You might
played
change
Tomb
your
Raider.
tune after that.
Okay, I haven't. Wait.
Yeah, because she doesn't look like over-exaggerated in that one.
No,
She's not overly
The
sexualized in
reboot
that one.
was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
the
I haven't
reboot
played
was
it since
incredible.
PS1.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's worth the PS4 conversion.
$20 on PS4, Ray, for the Tomb Raider
for
remaster.
all of them.
No,
Oh,
for
okay.
that new one
It's
remaster.
I heard it was supposed to be really good.
It is. It's really good.
I was surprised how good it was, actually.
Okay.
Me too.
Well, so y'all feel like her as
I don't think it's a bad choice.
Yeah.
She's definitely has the acting chops and the action chops.
It would just
from
be
Star Wars.
scheduling, though.
well,
I mean, she has plenty. I mean, the time I would think the work around it.
they're doing those every 2 years, the actual ones, and then
Yeah.
so I don't think. I mean, I think that can be.
They could
worked
just
out.
give her like Mark Hamill's schedule or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can show up on a cliffside at the end and not say anything.
Just stare, not say shit.
So Spider-Man news. The new reboot that's going to be done by Sony.
Yeah.
They have Marissa Tomei. She's going to be playing Aunt May. And they cast a new person as
Peter, my biological clock is ticking.
They cast a new person as quote unquote Michelle. Her name is Zendaya, and I looked her up on IMDb. She's been in a lot of it looks like Disney shows and stuff. She was also
Michelle.
Huh?
Michelle.
No, Michelle is the character.
Yeah,
that
that's what I
she's
mean.
Supposed to be playing. I don't know who that would be though.
Let me check.
Okay.
I got an idea.
And Zendaya is the only other thing that I saw that I even had ever heard of was the Taylor Swift Bad Blood video she was in. So I don't know anything about this girl.
Good. I mean, that means maybe they're kind of learning just to go with the unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
Build it off of the franchise without having.
She's
and
also
get
a
'em
person
for-
with one name, one word.
And get them for a low cost so
Yes.
you can sign them for multiple movies.
Yeah, because they're desperate.
or go
Yes.
to rehab and pick one up, and they can be
Like they did Mark Ruffalo.
well, yeah, or
They signed him for
RDJ.
9 movies.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they're still doing some casting for Spider-Man, and also the Venom movie that has been being talked about forever, that everyone kind of thought was dead after the Sony deal with Marvel. Apparently, is back on the.
Thank you, Deadpool. Probably.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
going to be an R.
Yeah, because it's not. It's also not really. He's not going to be a villain in one of the Spider-Man movies. Before it doesn't look like it doesn't
That's
look like
good.
they're going to throw him in there.
I think they'll
They're
do
just
like the Agent Venom that they have going on.
That would be amazing.
I would.
that would be a
think they
really
would.
interesting take on it. And I think that might. Whereas Deadpool fans are going to be fans of Deadpool no matter what, Venom fans who
Eddie
are
Brock. They're going to be
Venom
Eddie
fans?
Brock fans.
Yeah, they're Eddie Brock
Yeah.
fans.
But
so.
I guess what I would say to that is I don't think there's as big of a following of Venom as there is for Deadpool to pander to the fans in that capacity.
Yeah, I feel like Deadpool.
You would really need just a good story and action to get people in there because you're not going to get the same fan service that
Anyone that's a fan of Venom is usually a kid that started reading comics in the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, I love I love Venom of that time. That was when I got into comics.
I loved him when he was a villain.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Todd
Yeah.
McFarlane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was
original drawing.
terrifying.
Yeah, giant monstrous beast.
Yeah. I mean, in Spider-Man, he was terrifying because Spider-Man has spider sense all
But
the time.
I don't think we're ever going to... That's not going to be what they're going to make a movie around that size of a beast. Like that puts you
Yeah.
in the problems that you get with like Hulk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to do something more simplified.
Yeah, I hope they do a Agent Venom, honestly. It's a better story.
Yeah.
Flash Thompson lost his legs in like the Gulf War, or not Gulf War, Afghanistan or something
Something
like
like that.
And then he gets the Venom costume, and former high school football hero, goes off to war, loses his legs, and then he becomes a superhero when he gets this symbiotic alien costume.
Yeah, the only problem I see with that is that he's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm good with.
Well, but Sony.
And
they're with Disney now.
Yeah, they're working together.
I mean, that could be something that could be worked out.
Yeah,
it could also be like kind of folded into like a Weapon X kind of thing.
Kind of.
It could be something like with Deadpool and whatever they do with the new Wolverine and stuff like that. I wouldn't be incredibly pissed off by that.
No, I mean, I think they are going to stick with. I think they're going to hook their cart to the
to Marvel as hard as they can.
Marvel pony as much as they can on this. So.
It seems like there is so much Spider-Man news. J.K. Simmons is going to be Gordon in the new Justice League. Surprise! Moving from Spider-Man to
that's an odd
DC.
Choice.
Yeah,
I know
he's a better actor than what he gets what he gets credit for, but
because he really is. Like, I mean, you watch a lot of Coen Brothers movies, and actually from watching Oz, I mean, I could see him doing a more reserved character. I mean, I think everyone's used to kind of the
out of control,
yelling,
over the top,
loud guy because he does that really well.
Yeah.
But I can't say I 100% see it without seeing it on screen or having any idea. But I guess I can understand why they went with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. The first time they announced Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon in the
Nolan
other ones, I was kind of like, I'll have to see it. I love Gary Oldman though, so I'm willing to just give him a chance on it.
That's the thing. I feel like I'm like, I wish they didn't want to pull away from some of that stuff and recast everything so hard in the DC universe. Yeah, because Oldman was great.
Yeah.
One of them, I think Dark Knight Rises was on at my in-laws' house the other day, and we just like kind of sat there and watched it for a little bit, and he's good.
Yeah.
He's so good at it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of sad that,
which I could kind of understand maybe going with him because if, like Batman's supposed to have been around for a while, so we're getting an older commissioner as well. So
yeah, that's true.
So having him, an older guy could maybe work with that.
Yeah. We also got an international trailer for the Ghostbusters film. We talked about the actual.
Ray was raving about it.
I was raving about it. This is probably the best trailer that's been released this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Shadows.
I mean,
I'm surprised I heard about anything else besides this trailer.
Yeah, we were at work and then we get this link from Ray about this trailer and
said he was waiting all morning for it.
We're like, holy crap.
That's a good Ghostbusters trailer.
I can't believe.
Seriously.
Probably better than the original movies.
Yes.
Seriously, Ray is a son of a bitch for that.
No, it was definitely better than the original movies.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just shit all over him. I was like,
there was no person turning into a dog.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to watch the original Ghostbusters last night, and instead I just watched the trailer for 2 hours.
Exactly.
On repeat, and it was a way better experience.
The international trailer.
Yeah,
exactly.
International trailer. I was like,
we'll link to this in the show notes, but they released this trailer. None of us, I don't think any of us are like, oh, hell yeah.
It looks horrible. I'm sorry.
It still looks bad. But this trailer,
I think this trailer would have been better if you had released that one.
It's like if you ate Taco Bell and you had the shits last night, and then you wake up and you take a better shit, it's still a shit. You're like, oh, that wasn't as bad as last night. It's still a giant piece of shit that I had to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's the only saving grace, there was more Chris Hemsworth in it.
I don't consider that
I don't think at first I was like, okay, that'd be kind of cool. He doesn't even seem like he's going to be funny in the movie. Like, there's nothing really in that movie, and I hate saying that because honestly, it was one of those things when I first heard about it, I was like, well, maybe they'll pull it off and we'll all look like a bunch of idiots forever questioning it. Nope. It's just, I don't know how they can take today's technology and make the ghost look terrible. Like worse than it did in the original '80s movie.
I think out of anything in that,
I do
the ghosts look decent.
I think the ghosts are fine.
They look cheesy to me. I mean, like, and of course the Ghostbuster ones are always kind of cheesy.
Yeah,
but I literally just watched it last night. The original Ghostbuster. That's what I was saying.
Gotcha.
But they were creepier. Like the whole library part with it. It looks cartoony to the point where it doesn't when you're watching the first Ghostbusters and there's some suspense.
Yeah, there's a hint of
like horror. Like when Dana's possessed and she's talking about Gozer and stuff like that. it's somewhat creepy. You got Bill Murray kind of keeping it light.
Yeah.
And then things like when the giant demon dogs are chasing them around. I mean,
when she gets attacked in the chair and the hands are coming out of the chair and shit. That's when I was a kid. That was the scariest part of that movie to me.
Yeah, there's some legitimate and I was reading and Ghostbusters had a good story, and then there was comedic elements that happened within it.
Yeah.
This looks like they were like, it was like, oh yeah, Ghostbusters was a giant comedy, and it wasn't a giant comedy. It was
even the second one with what's his name.
Vigo.
Like he
Vigo was awesome.
Yeah, Vigo.
I love Vigo. It's the best part of the new movie.
Yeah.
No, it's the best part of that movie.
Yeah, I mean, number 2 had its ups and downs.
And Peter McNichol,
the giant, Statue of Liberty. At the end always is somewhat
goo everywhere.
Yeah, but with that being said,
why am I covered with goo?
Yeah, I just nothing.
It's something
about
Charles has said many a morning.
What?
Nothing.
It's but I almost want to challenge myself to watch it in a theater just to make sure I'm not. But I just can't bring myself to do it because
not to toot our own horn or anything, but very, very seldom do we sit here and say, "Oh, that's going to be a piece of shit," and it's great.
Yeah.
The one that I remember that we were like, I don't know about this.
Jurassic World, we were wrong.
Jurassic World, we were
Jurassic
dead
World. We were
wrong
wrong
on that
on
one.
Jurassic World.
And then Deadpool.
No,
until the trailer started coming out for Deadpool, we were all pretty.
We were questioning it pretty.
We were all pretty I don't
Mad
think
Max. So. We were unsure. We wanted Mad Max to be good.
Mad Max on the fence. Deadpool, we were on the fence, so we saw a trailer. But once we saw the trailer, I think we all jumped on it. But Jurassic World, until we saw it, until I was in the theater, I literally sitting down to watch that movie, I was like, this is going to suck.
Because there's still not a good trailer out for Jurassic World.
No, they never got one on that.
I'm amazed that they made that much money on it.
Just watching that, I don't know, man. Even with whoever the black lady is, it's like, she's playing the angry black woman part. And you look at the original Winston, and
Winston was laid back and chill.
Winston was
it wasn't a race card.
Was Joe average?
Yeah,
because
that's why I like more about it.
And that's what she's supposed to be, but she's not.
Just she's playing a stereotype.
Yeah,
when she could have played more like Winston, you watching that,
especially with the stage diving thing at the end.
Yeah,
because
the other part where she's possessed and she's beating her. I'm gonna beat the black, or whatever. And you're just like, what? It's just nothing about her looks.
I'm super happy to see Melissa McCarthy get bitch slapped. I'm sorry. I'll sit and watch that for an hour. I don't care who's doing it.
Yeah, I would rather just both be erased from the movie.
Yeah, but
let's move on to something a little maybe they'll make Nate a little bit more happy. What do you know about the history of magic in North America?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No.
So these are going to be some more Harry Potter stories.
Oh, wait, yes, I do know about this. Okay.
This is all on Pottermore.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Fantastic Beast has some stuff that happens in North America. So these are some stories that she's going to be writing that have to do with magic in North America.
She's never wrote about America. She's never really wrote about other schools in the world besides Hogwarts and I think 2 or 3 other schools that took place in there. So it tells about America and during the 1800s, they had the Ministry of Magic. There was the Congress of Magic for America. And apparently there was something big that happened here that led up to the Fantastic Beast.
Yeah.
I think Fantastic Beast actually takes place in America.
In the trailer, say it's New York.
Yeah. Okay. So and so she's writing a lot of backstory to fill it up, and so it's going to come out and stuff so. I'm interested. I don't really read her books. I've read 1 or 2, and I mean they weren't bad. It's more I'd rather someone just reading and just give me the general overview notes on it because I enjoy their movies. I think they're good enough for movies. Just I guess I don't jump into the book style.
Gotcha.
Books are good.
Well, and
I would read them if I didn't have time, but I watched the movies. I thought the movies were just fine. So, and then when I went to do a few of the books, while it definitely expanded a little bit more on the overall story, I felt I had at least a good enough grasp of the meat and potatoes of the story to really not go further on, even though I'm sure the books got even better as she grew with it.
Yeah. I feel that way about the Lego games, so I'm not even watching the movies.
That was a good comparison.
Yeah. I think a lot of Harry Potter people are excited because this is expanding the world.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
expanding the world.
Well,
quite-
she got the play that's coming out, and
Yes.
so they're going to release that as well. That follows up with Harry Potter 20 years later.
Yeah.
So and then they have this. So I mean, if you're a fan of the universe, and I'm a fan of the universe, it's cool to see them.
I feel like as a creator, as someone who's created this world, similar to like what George Lucas did, she is doing an excellent job.
She's doing a way better job.
Yes.
Much better.
At throwing stuff out and like taking care of it.
Yeah,
it's like her baby,
but she's not throwing stuff out. That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
When she does, it's very
she lets
meticulous
it.
and
she's guarded.
Very guarded, and she waits until interest is dying down a little bit, and it's like, oh, here's a little bit more, guys, and then it just peaks right back up.
Never even seems like it's a cash grab. It's just like,
well, it's on Pottermore. That's free.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's something that she walks away, and then I think it might just be one of those things that she created this universe that she owes everything. It's like it can keep expanding. And so she, and since she's the sole creator of it, like why not, keep writing that? So.
She would be absolute genius if, like, she pushes this out for a few more years, and if she does write another like actual Harry Potter trilogy,
it's a moth.
Yeah, I think she will bank.
She's already banked. Yeah, that's the thing.
She's plenty of banking right now.
I know, but I mean, I think like
if the story is right, I don't see why she wouldn't. I mean, like, write to what the audience is there, or go back and build it back up with the new generation with Harry's kids and follow through with there, whichever one you wanted to. I mean, but I have nothing but respect for her. I think anything that's going to get released for it. That's why even for the movie, I'm excited to see what it is because she had a big part of it. It wasn't like, okay, here you go, Hollywood, just destroy this. You can have the rights. I think it's going to be good. I think everything will be good about it.
Yeah. All right, so now we have. This is the big one.
We already talked about Ghostbusters.
No, we talked about the biggest thing this week.
We got.
There's
that
other
other shit trailer.
Jesus, Ray.
Oh god.
There's been a lot of internet.
This is one that Mike was talking about before he went to that. What do you call it?
Gay seminary.
I thought he said it was a dick sucking contest.
Yes.
We didn't even talk about the news about Mike came in second place at the North American dick sucking competition.
Yeah.
So he's
proud of him.
Moving on to the quarterfinals. Good job, Mike.
He's going to Worlds. He's going to Worlds.
His throat got beat up more than the Fantastic Four reboot.
Okay then.
Yep.
That's a lot.
Wow.
So moving on, Captain America: Civil War. We got a new trailer for this, and
I gotta say,
trailer of the year, probably movie of the year.
I don't think so, but
it's
a good trailer.
I don't know. It's the Russo brothers, and I still think Captain America 2 is up there with one of the best.
I think it's the best one.
It and Guardians, according to which one I've watched recently.
Yeah,
I only watched it once. I mean, I enjoyed it. Like, so I have an issue with Marvel movies on rewatches. I don't think they're good, but
Cap's one of those ones where I can rewatch it and feel good rewatching it.
Yeah,
and not feel like I'm trudging through it.
My issue with it, and I we'll get into Civil War, but I think it's just a curse of expanded universe when you're building that out and you're watching something like Captain America: Winter Soldier when the stakes are that high.
Where's
why the fuck
else?
aren't the Avengers there? Because
understand
he can get a hold of them.
Yeah, I understand that point. And they actually even target Tony in one of the missiles.
And they show it and stuff like that. But it's just like, and that's just, and like I said, that's very little things. Like, because I thought Winter Soldier was great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good action movie. But with that being said, there was, like plot holes and stuff that were just kind of like, it's just.
And even if not just, and I get you, if even not Iron Man, there's still War Machine.
Yeah, there's so many
works
things
for
S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah.
Where was he at?
Yeah. So I mean, it's those things, and that's just rewatchability. First time, it was great. Like I said, I really enjoyed. To me, the only is Guardians of the Galaxy. Like that is my hands down best Marvel movie they got out there. But that's neither here nor there right now.
Yeah,
We're talking about
Civil War,
which the trailer does. The stakes are real. That's all. When you watch it, because I have to say, when you watch the one before that, I felt it was really lackluster. I know a lot of people loved it as Marvel fans and stuff. I was like, it doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
The only thing that really stuck out of the original one is when you have Bucky and Cap beating the shit out of Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
This one, there's a lot of meat on the plate that I chew at. Like
there's nothing
the
but
whole
meat.
entire trailer. I feel like Black Panther took
he
the show.
I'm almost mad, and we'll get to Spider-Man, so let's not divert. But because Black Panther looked great, and then Spider-Man comes at the end, and it kind of really put a shadow over where.
I really wish they had put Black Panther in the last trailer. And not revealed him in this one.
Because exactly, because everyone would have gave him a chance to get excited.
Because that scene where he's getting shot at by the minigun,
he doesn't even care,
and he just turns around and looks.
It's not even that. My favorite part is where
Cap and
Bucky's on a motorcycle. He's driving on, and and Cap and Black Panther are both running after him to run him down,
blowing Cap away.
Yeah,
and just fucks the bike up.
Yeah,
they're both down.
Just rip. Yeah, because he is fighting Winter Soldier hard in this whole trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's going to be interesting to see what the deal is.
Yeah, because it seems like there's a vendetta there.
I'm curious because it shows the UN building being blown up, and I heard a theory of how Black Panther's brought it in, and to me it sounds better than the original. Because if you remember the original Civil War, it happened from a reality show about many things, but the biggest thing reality show happened. One of the guys exploded. It was like a nuclear bomb. Nitro went off, killed a bunch of people. That's what caused
kids
right next to it in elementary school.
So that was what was the pivotal thing that happened in the comics. So for this, you're like, well, what's going to be the thing that happens? Well, and from what I heard, the UN building blows up, and Black Panther's there, or his
Black Panther's
dad's there, and that's what kind of brings it in. And I'm wondering, from what I can understand, and I read rumor wise, is that it's someone impersonating Bucky that does it. Might be Crossbones. Yeah.
Good point. Because I was almost wondering if they were going to bring in clones.
No, I think it's going to be Crossbones.
Because the Bucky that tries to assassinate Iron Man is completely, looks completely out of it. Like he doesn't know what he's doing.
And he might have been reactivated, too.
He might have been.
So, to get on Nate's point about Civil War, that scene, that incident in Stanford's just the tipping point. There's a lot of stuff leading up to that in the comics. Tony's was getting files way before that all came out where they were talking about the Registration Act and everything and what they were going to be forcing people to do. And when Stanford happened, in the comics they wrote it in such a way to where Iron Man's the bad guy.
Yeah, he comes off as a complete
real quick,
asshole.
let's jump into this though, because we're going to talk about the comics anyway. Yeah. In this, the comics, the Civil War comics, the idea of it is fabulous.
The execution was horrible.
Is horrible.
Yeah.
Everyone is kind of written really shitty in it,
especially Cap.
Yeah, and it is like if you step back and look at everything, they just did a bad job of it because Iron Man was written as a villain, but if you look logically at all the stuff, neither one of them are the hero or the villain in this.
No.
So anyway, continue.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
So Tony has seen this stuff coming, and he's like, "Okay, we need to get ahead of it." He obviously does not communicate well, and so things come to a head in the comics. But in this, it looks like they've been doing that as well, leading up to it with the New York incident, Washington with Winter Soldier, Sokovia from.
And I like the fact that there's, of course, watching the movies, it's like how they're trying to blame them on these situations.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, New York, it was a portal that opened up.
An alien portal. We didn't do that.
We stopped that.
But if
now
the Avengers weren't there in the first place, it wouldn't have happened.
There's another two might have been our fault.
There's a couple of the other things, though. I'm sure that Ultron's not general knowledge to
probably
everybody.
But
as far
S.H.I.E.L.D.
But S.H.I.E.L.D. from Winter Soldier definitely is. And then also,
yet again, not their fault.
But they are...
Hydra is not their fault.
But they are identified with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Absolutely, yeah.
And also, Cap's team at the end of, because I was thinking about this today coming up here.
At the end of Avengers 2?
Is basically
it's half and half.
It's a bunch of reformed villains.
Yeah.
I mean,
with
Black Widow was on
Falcons
trial in front of the Senate. She was on C-SPAN with all of her crap just put out there for the whole world to know.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch was working with Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
But you still had War Machine and Falcon. Both of them
and Vision at the end.
And Vision could go either way.
Now,
who knows?
Obviously, from looking at the trailer, it looks like Vision's
we know
going to be siding
which side they're going with.
Yeah.
My point is, it's like when Captain America revealed his new Avengers team after they split up and the originals left. You had Hawkeye, who was a reformed villain. You had Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, who were members of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants with Magneto.
Yeah.
And that was the Avengers, was Captain America, Hawkeye, and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Yeah.
And so
I love that there are little things like that. God, this trailer gave so much fan service.
What about the mega prison? What was it called?
The Raft?
Yeah, the Raft.
Mm-hmm.
Looks a little big for just 10 people, right? That's like, here's a multi-billion-dollar in the middle of the sea thing for Captain America, Scarlet Witch.
We're expecting Captain America to turn into a bad guy since all the other bad guys are dead. You kill them all.
Well, and I keep trying to watch it, but there's the conversation that's happening between Cap and Iron Man, and behind them is a giant something inside of it. And someone online is saying that they think it's the
Abomination.
Which
there's another one where a guy's sitting down and it looks like the leader.
Oh, I assumed it was Bucky.
No, I saw. I don't know. It looks kind of fuzzy, but it looks like his head's really
yellow,
big.
Right? He's in something yellow or something.
Yeah, and it looks like his head's really big.
I haven't seen all these.
Yeah,
and it looks like the leader, and
which would be interesting because that means they're actually tying in the Hulk movies to all of this.
Yeah, well,
where they've kind of stayed
they
away
already
from.
have with General. No, they tied in the Hulk.
That's true.
The Incredible Hulk, not the first, not the
Edward Norton one. They
have been tying
erase
that
one. That one still exists in this universe
because General Ross from the what was it? The after credit scene for?
Yeah, that's true.
Iron Man 2.
Shit, what was it? Something. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was Iron Man 2. And then what was it? The incidents when you're watching when Tony gets the thing in the Avengers, the different things like the what is it? He gets the file from Coulson and he's watching it with Pepper, and Pepper's like, "You got a lot of homework to do." They show scenes from the Incredible Hulk and stuff like that.
In there. So having that in there, I do like that because it kind of gives more merit to why they've built this giant mega infrastructure.
Yeah,
and also means it's been there for a while. It wasn't built just for the sole purpose of that.
I think didn't the Raft show up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it did under a different name.
Yeah, maybe because that's what that is, right? Is that? Am I wrong on that?
I think it is.
Okay,
because they've been putting some villains in there too occasionally and stuff.
So, and then of course you finally get what everybody's been waiting for.
Well,
and that's Ant-Man.
Yes,
flying
on the damn thing. I was going to say there was so much fan service in this because that was one of the things that everyone I've seen online has said. If Ant-Man does not get shot off of one of Hawkeye's arrows, we're going to riot.
I have to say, I'm pissed that's actually in the trailer. I love that I got to see it, but imagine watching the movie and getting to experience that because now you're waiting for it the whole time. Like, when's he going to do it? When's he going to do it? All right, he's going to go. Okay.
It's still not the most entertaining place I've seen like a shrinking person hide during a superhero battle. And that was an episode of Justice League. They're fighting some alien craft, and the Atom Wonder Woman's got to fly the Atom up to a ship. And she's like, I need both my hands. So she takes him and puts him right in her cleavage. And I'm like, holy crap, this is a kid's cartoon. And he's just...
That's the best spot.
Yes. And that's just
Wonder
where she puts...
Power Girl,
flies right in. I'm like...
Oh, Power Girl, yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, like...
Charles has to go to the bathroom real quick.
Seeing that in the trailer...
Whip it out right in front of you. I don't care.
That was probably, like that was pretty exciting. So, you're watching the trailer, you got Black Panther who's kicking ass. You got Ant-Man riding, this
we finally get to see Crossbones.
Crossbones
gets Captain America across the world.
All right, I've lost my patience. Under Rose.
are getting there. You're fucking up my build-up.
Yeah.
You have no...
I just went with the trailer.
Is that
You have
how
no
you are with
climax
chicks?
control.
Do you just shove it in? Is that why you're single? You know you gotta make love to it, okay? You gotta work your way at the top. You just
Climax control.
Yeah, just
My patience is wearing thin.
You know what? We're not even going to talk about it now. We're just going to move on. What else is on the news?
So, we also have on the news Nancy Reagan.
R.I.P. So,
For real,
you've got
the
all
trailer.
this, and then, yes, you're standing at the very end, and you knew it was happening because,
had been
there's like
announced.
10 seconds left in the trailer, and, it goes black, and all of a sudden, Underoos, which is like the perfect insider joke,
Yeah.
and then all of a
Because
sudden,
I absolutely had Spider-Man underoos. Absolutely.
and
might still have
Webb
them.
comes down, hits the shield. Honestly, it could have ended right
Yeah,
there.
I would have if they'd have ended right there.
Yeah.
I'd have been perfect.
But no, you get
No.
it, flip around, pops down. One of the coolest poses ever is fucking Spider-Man
With
raising
Captain
up with
America's
Cap's shield
shield.
coming up, and just hey, how's it going?
Hey, guys.
It's like, hey everybody, and you're like,
and
there was
And the nerds in the internet go wild with hate.
oh my god,
Fuck you guys.
yeah,
people
you
are
guys suck.
You guys suck so
The
big.
costume looks weird.
Costume,
What are the
the
armbands?
costume looks like the original Ramada costume.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so badass. If you,
CGI sucks.
yeah,
if you
people are like,
stop
it must
this-
not be
if you-
done being rendered yet.
It looks great.
It looked
If you-
amazing.
Yeah.
If you stop one of the frames, you can see on the back there's the giant red spider, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The eyes and them moving looked great. He
Jeez.
sounds like a teenager is one of the other things that
Yeah.
people were saying.
Yeah.
Duh, he's
Yeah.
a teenager.
Yeah.
Here's
He's
the
a
best-
16-year-old
Jesus.
kid.
We
Well,
finally got
he's
God.
actually 19. He's
No, I'm
supposed
talking
to be
about
16.
in the
yeah.
comics. It's a 16-year-old kid.
But he's
Yeah.
in the MCU. He's in a Marvel
he
movie now, a
looks
legitimate
great.
Marvel studio
Yeah,
movie.
It looks.
I have no reason to
it looked
complain.
Amazing.
It looks good. He's got an actual waist belt,
Even
on,
spectacular.
holding it.
Yeah, holding all his extra web fluid.
Yeah, web fluid.
There's little things.
Probably
He
even
looks
superior.
He was ultimately the best looking Spider-Man I've ever seen.
Exactly.
Man,
No, it was so good looking.
the words I would use to describe him.
Yeah.
Ultimate, amazing, spectacular, superior,
His eyes adjust.
web of.
That's another big thing that that's the first they've done out of all the Spider-Man movies out there. Is
Man.
the emote. You have that, and people were complaining. I was like, that looks just
It
like
looks like a classic Steve
Yeah.
Ditko
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
John Romita, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks so classic. I am in love with it. There are some little things. There's some armbands that are
you
black.
won't get over the
whatever.
armbands.
That
Armbands
doesn't,
look
that
fine.
doesn't
It's
bother.
just-
The only thing is, I was just worried, like, how do the eyes work?
I don't-
It looks cool, but I'm like,
It
how
looks
does he
like
make them
they're.
go
It looks like
small?
they're
How
actually
did
mechanical.
Deadpool's work? I don't care.
No, the
No, I'm
Spider-Man's
just-
look one mechanical.
It's
I
like
want to go back
three
to the
slits.
armbands. The only reason I haven't
To show off
quote
his guns.
unquote issue with the armbands is because
They can't wear
I
that
don't.
suit with
Well,
the
no, I don't.
armbands.
There's a
everything
belt
else
and
is
a leg.
absolute like the comic. I don't understand what the use. It's almost like
It's,
well,
you got to have a definitive.
Well,
You
it's
got-
almost like the designer was like, "I'm not going to do it just like the comic armbands,
Yeah,
leg
well, he
bands."
put 'em on
Oh,
like-
I think
that makes
I
sense,
think they
though. You
did
gotta
it too to
put
change it
your-
up a little bit from
Yeah.
the first Spider-Man movies
Yeah.
that Sony put
Well,
out.
and that's what I'm saying.
'Cause
Like, you
that
got to
one was-
put your own stamp on it,
Exactly.
for merchandising and for all the other things. Because otherwise, anybody can call it. You have to have anybody. See, this is the Black Van.
The suit's fine. Now, I mean, the what is it? Is it concept art that they put out, or is that actually a photo of the suit? That
I don't know.
one where he's just standing up.
I don't know. Nate posted
Yeah.
that.
So big rumor is that we're going to get 3 suits in the movie.
Yeah, that's been a rumor for months.
And like, it's getting more. I know James Gunn has been quoted as actually have seen the Iron Spider-Man. It's
Which
not.
I'm so surprised. I didn't think that would actually show up.
I figured they would. I mean, if you're going to do Civil War, and they're doing fan service like they're doing, people want Iron Spider.
Okay.
You
Here's
know?
here's another question. Just judging from the trailer and everything going on in it, is that fight in the airport in the climax of the movie?
I think it
I
might be.
I don't know because I feel like
I'm saying middle.
I'm saying
I
middle,
think too. As
I don't think it's the last fight.
when Rhodey gets shot out
I think
of
it's
the air,
before that. I think
it looks like the
Rhodey's
air-
not in that fight.
He
Yeah,
is
he
in
is.
that fight.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's
flying.
hidden in that truck. When
Yeah,
that,
he's there.
that still
He's
shot.
there.
He's
Yeah.
There's a semi truck that Ray pointed out to me that, and I missed him
But-
because he looks like he blends
It
in.
looks like he gets shot up in there, and because
and it
Cap
looks
looks
like
at Bucky.
the airport is behind him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It looks like he gets shot out of the sky because
In
they
the airport.
definitely they show Bucky shooting, they split or clip to something else, and it's Rhodey getting shot out of the sky. Those might not even.
I don't
be the
think
same
those are
scenes.
attached.
I don't think they are.
I think it's Crossbones that shoots
Maybe
War Machine out of the sky.
Yeah.
But and then he crashes there or whatever, and it looks like the airport's in the background. So I think that's after the battle.
I think that might be.
I think it's during,
like maybe one of the first true fights.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of kicks it off, or maybe like where they kind of see that we really are going at this.
And then we also
Spider-Man towards the beginning to the middle of the movie. Middle of the movie. Then
I would say middle of that. That would make sense when to bring him in. Yeah.
And there was also the little scene that someone on, I believe, Reddit or 4chan showed that they cut to, and it's Captain America punching Iron Man, and you see Bucky on the floor in the back, and his arm is missing.
Yeah. Mechanical arm.
But they have said before that this phase of Marvel movies is an ode to Empire, and in every movie someone loses a hand. That's the thing that they do just to do it.
Well, someone lost a hand in the last one, in the last phase.
Did they?
Yeah, Thor. I know it was a trick, but he did.
Was that phase 1 or 2?
That's phase 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was during Dark World.
Oh, this is phase 3.
Yeah, this is phase 3.
Huh, okay,
this is the first movie of phase 3. It's the first one after Avengers.
That's true. So, I don't know.
Maybe was after Avengers.
Well, then the second movie of phase 3.
I thought, Ant-Man was phase 3.
Yeah.
Is Batman phase 3?
Yeah.
He was the first of
Or was it the end of phase 2?
The phases end with the Avengers movies.
Okay, no matter what. Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyway, there's a lot of... There's so much. I've watched it about 15 times now.
I've watched it about 5 or 6.
I had to stop and go through everything with Allison, because there's also the scene where Captain America and Iron Man are fighting, and Iron Man points his ray gun at him and says, stop or something. This is your last chance. And Captain America says, puts his dukes up and says, I can do this all day, which is a callback to the first Captain America, where
Avenger.
He
says it twice.
He says it twice. He says it once to Red Skull, and he says it once before he's Captain America, and he's just getting the shit beat
I think
out
that's
of
going to probably be right before Bucky comes in, because on the original one, he said that right before he was fighting Red Skull, before his bros showed up to help save him. And that seems like maybe that's the start of the fight before Bucky comes in and starts beating. They beat the shit.
Do you think that's before the
Bucky
Iron Man's because Tony's in a sling for a little bit too.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of that trailer where he's obviously had his ass handed to him.
Yeah, he's got bruises on his face and everything.
Yeah.
And in the last trailer, there's the same thing where he says something like, Cap, you look really stressed out or something, and he says it's been a long day, and then his mask comes up.
Yeah.
Same thing. And then I forget what he says, but Captain America says something, and then Iron Man just punches the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So there's we didn't even the Vision Scarlet Witch scene.
Looks like she's breaking him down.
Yeah. Which is, again, more fan service, because Scarlet Witch and Vision, of course, in the comics were married at one point.
This is the fight before they fall in love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting.
They're going to start having sex right after that.
Yeah. Robot. So, yeah.
Hallelujah.
Well, you're anatomically correct.
I think I'm excited to see more of Black Panther in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have no interest. I couldn't care less, but seeing that trailer, I'm like,
he's
sold.
one of those guys that when he's in a comic and written well, he really steals the show. But they don't use him all the time.
Yeah. Don't use him well all the time either.
No.
So man, I know I sound like a giddy little child talking about this. But I have been so fanboying over this. And like I've said before...
It just pisses me off to no end after seeing Spider-Man on that Fox and Disney can't get their shit together.
Yeah. Oh,
God, can you imagine if they could, and then they could put this together properly?
Yeah.
Would it be too big at that point?
Well, Infinity War is going to be too big.
You know what? At that point, you've got... I don't care if you got 30 superheroes beating the shit out of each other on this. I'll watch 30 minutes of that.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we're getting to a point where everyone's talking about this bubble's going to bust eventually. I don't know if that's 100% true. I think it is going to bust. I think there's enough good quality out there that some of it can be salvaged. But let's say it is going to bust. I want that.
I don't think
I want it before the bubble bursts.
All the odd, weird characters that I never thought I was going to get a movie about to be in the same place. I want Doctor Doom to be, whatever, taking Captain America's shield and punching Thanos with it.
Yeah.
You know, I want that.
No, you know what? Even if it does bust, at least we had a chance to ride it and watch it.
Yeah, this is the greatest.
You're riding history, kids.
Because this month, in a few days, we get to see Superman versus Batman.
In less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks. Okay, so whoever thought we were going to get that?
It's been such a long time coming.
They've been teasing that since
forever.
God, 89 at least. They've been teasing it.
I remember that. Like I remember actually,
I Am Legend had
the. Well, I remember because the whole idea was that they rebooted Man of Steel. Not Man of Steel. The Superman Returns. And if that movie was successful, they were going to do Batman vs. Superman. That was the plan, and that movie was horrible, and it flopped.
Man, Batman Forever, they're teasing Metropolis.
Yeah.
And where are you going? Metropolis? Like, whoa, hold the phone here.
So it's about to be a good little year. We got Daredevil.
Daredevil's dropping in a little bit.
Then we have the best movie of the year, Batman vs. Superman, coming out.
Yeah. Civil War.
And then
we also have
Civil War.
X-Men, which we'll see. That
X-Men. Yeah,
the hype has kind of died on that. But
I can see why. They're being very smart right now.
Yeah.
By not saying a damn word.
I was waiting to see what Batman vs. Superman was going to... After this...
They said that was their last trailer. Yeah. The last one they put out is their last one.
I feel like they have to do one other media something. Maybe not a trailer, but something.
Like a small TV spot.
Maybe.
No, they just need to release. Yeah. They're releasing on Easter weekend.
It's right around
they're fine.
Oh, they're fine.
Yeah. They got that. I mean, like, it's smart of Marvel because, I mean, they got the biggest thing they have to do is ride the wave after that comes and keep the excitement for Civil War.
Yeah. You got to keep, and then after that, you got Civil War on everybody's mind. You got to keep everybody hyped for Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Which is that's your after credit scene.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's all it takes.
Yep.
One more Thanos, one more Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Or one Doctor Strange. All right. Well, I think we beat that horse.
Yeah. Look at me. Hello, Watson.
Would they also release some photos of Doctor Strange to this?
They were hilarious.
One of the funny ones.
One of them
those
was
were pretty sweet.
Really serious, and one of him was being silly, but they were both great.
They were.
So.
I'm all for
Benedict.
Strange. Yeah. Benedict.
That's actually the Marvel movie. That and the Captain Marvel are the two that I've been the most hyped about. So I hope they deliver.
Yeah, I'm hoping Doctor Strange. I have, with the casting they've got on it, I'm really confident in it. I mean, that guy is amazing.
I think it's going to be an extreme. I think it'll be one of those ones that does way better than anyone ever thought it would do.
Yeah, I do too.
All right, well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got more.
Oh, yeah, we got more right now with Charles, who's been sitting over there patiently, just rubbing the belt, ready to tell us more wrestling news. Take it away, Charles.
Just two quick things going on. Earlier this week, they announced the location of WrestleMania 33, which is kind of weird because normally they wait till the WrestleMania that's going on. 33 is going to be in Orlando, Florida again.
O-Town.
Yep. It was last WrestleMania 24, 2008. Could be interesting how it goes this year or next year. They beat out Minneapolis, Minnesota. A lot of people were pissed, but who wants to go to Minnesota? And going along with that, WWE also announced that they're going to actually build a physical Hall of Fame and restaurant near Universal, right, Nate?
That's the big rumor.
To coincide with the WrestleMania 33 in Orlando.
Yeah, where they used to have the NBA restaurant, which is now officially closed. There's a big talk that they might do a WWE Hall of Fame there, which I could definitely see. I don't know if I'd ever eat there, but actually, you know what? I would go at least once. If they did a WWE Hall of Fame restaurant, I'd have to go to see some.
Speaking of,
yes,
we have menu items that we'll be posting on the show notes.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
because you can get the Suplex.
Can you get the SummerSlam burgers?
Yeah, you can get some
the Hulk
DD sweet tea, the Hulk Hogan, the torture rack of ribs.
Yep.
Oh man, we're killing this
with bottom line pricing.
Yeah. The chicken choke slam sandwich. And There's
the
so
tombstone
many.
pile of salad.
Yeah. I always thought
tombstone pile of salad. What?
Yes, exactly.
You know what I didn't want church is I think the pile driver just sounds like a straight drink by itself. That's a drink. Let me get a pile driver. All right. So we'll be seeing you guys there when it opens.
Egg drop soup.
Yeah. Oh. God, I totally forgot. I had a list of them.
Dude, there was
quite a few.
It was so good.
I enjoyed it so much. I
Guys,
actually opened up my Twitter and tweeted to WWE some ideas.
You haven't done Twitter in like 5 years.
I made sure to tweet Suplex because that
was good.
That was probably my favorite out of all of them.
Man, we were killing those guys. We were hilarious on our private chat that you can't ever see.
Yeah,
remember that one time Mike said funny. That one thing on there?
It was the funniest thing that's ever been said.
Yeah.
So, we will have to actually come up with what's on the menu for you.
Yeah.
And write those up. But that's it.
Maybe we'll develop a menu.
Yeah, we'll develop it up. Well, that's it for Charles' Wrestling Corner.
Yep.
See you next Sunday. I don't know about you nerds, but here at Nerds Who Get Laid, we are fans of The Office.
This is something you've been raging hard for since we started this thing, or since at least I've been on here.
I've been an Office fan. Since I think season 2 is when I got into it.
That's when I started.
Yeah. So I kind of did a little forward that I'm going to kind of lay on you guys. So here it goes. The Office may be one of the greatest television shows ever created. Honest to God. It's a Fox documentary style, made accessible to characters through feelings, and you watch with their one-on-one interviews. It told stories with real heart while being able to make you cringe during pivotal scenes usually made by the main man, Michael Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Best regional manager ever. Although the first season was a little shaky, and even by season 2, not the best, it found its feet and pushed on, and after that became a total of 9 seasons of amazingness. It was a show that we knew kept the audience engaged with Jim and Pam. Would they? Wouldn't they? You had Dwight and Andy getting on because they had Angela.
Yeah.
The little love triangle. And then, of course, there was always, what will Michael Scott do next? And so from there, I think we're going to have to just jump right in. It's a big thing to bite into, so this might be section 1, part 1 of The Office breakdown.
Do we have something specifically we want to talk about today on The Office?
I have a couple questions I'm going to lay on you guys.
Right, hit us.
So, feel free to go in a little bit, but, don't try and summarize an entire season.
No.
On there.
No.
So, Charles, we popped the Office cherry.
Yeah.
This afternoon. Ray did.
Charles got here early, and I got told this afternoon that we were doing The Office. I'm a person that needs prep time, so I was panicking, like, oh, I got to figure out my Office stuff. So I, there was one episode in general. I was like, okay, well, Charles has never seen The Office. I'm gonna throw him in head first. And it's the dinner party. We played the dinner party thing. If you've ever watched The Office, you know this is one of what I would say one of 2.
It was awkward.
Of the most awkward TV shows or TV episodes that have ever been on TV.
It was awkward.
What's the other one?
Phyllis's Wedding.
Yes. Extremely.
Both of those.
The pool party was pretty bad too.
Yeah.
I
don't think it's as bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad, but this is like, whoa.
Yeah. Dinner party was definitely one of the
it's hard to
I love
still
that
hard
episode.
To watch.
Yeah.
But
it was funny, but it was
difficult to watch.
But I think that speaks volumes of what that show could do. That show you're so invested in those characters, but they would do things that would just honestly, Michael would do things that would just make it so hard to get through it.
And in the beginning it's Michael.
Yeah.
But later on it's Toby or Oscar or like There's a lot of people that get
that episode.
real
Jan was really awkward in that episode.
Which
Jan
one?
Always did.
The dinner party.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was definitely
Yeah.
Jan.
It was just
Yeah.
that.
Jan was the wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not
Girlfriend.
invested. So
Yeah.
no girlfriend.
All right. So from the right off the bat, and the question I think that I'll lay on you guys is: out of all the seasons, which is your favorite season, and what brought you to it? What made you really love that season the most? And I know it's a hard one if you haven't watched them in a while, Ray. So I don't know how up to date you are on there, but I'll kick it off because I do have a favorite season. I believe it is season 5, but it's and some of the biggest parts of it, and it's what brings me to it, and it's the reason why. It's when Michael quits Dunder Mifflin and goes and makes the Michael Scott paper company.
Oh, that's season 5.
I believe that's season 5. Yeah, it's season 5, and that entire season is pretty much to me some of the best episodes. I believe it's also the one where the fire happens, where Dwight starts to fire.
It wasn't Dwight. It was
No, not where Dwight starts the fire to do the fire test.
He's not talking about big.
Yeah,
the actual fire that happens. Wasn't
like
that
3?
Where Ryan does
Ryan starts the fire.
Yeah,
Ryan
Dwight
started the
smokes
fire.
a cigarette, puts it in the trash can to start a fire.
The fire drill.
Yeah, fire drill. I mean, he made a fire happen, so people ran away, and then he lit the door handle on fire, so people touched the hot to touch.
Man.
Things like that happen. But absolutely love that season, and because of Michael and what he goes through with the Michael Scott Paper Company, it's some of just best writing, the best you see Michael. He's sharp yet cringeworthy at the same time. We were kind of talking about it where when he goes to negotiate with them, when Dunder Mifflin's going to buy out Michael Scott's company, it's just how he starts, hitting back on David Wallace. He's like, I don't have to outweigh Dunder Mifflin. I just have to outweigh you because you have a board meeting coming up where they're going to access where your profits are at.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, Michael knows his shit when it comes to actual paper business.
Yeah.
He's just an idiot everywhere else.
Yeah. Socially awkward.
Yeah.
Just, yeah.
Socially retarded is really what it is. Now, TJ, what about you?
I want to say it's his last season. Michael's last season.
Season 8 then. Okay.
Was that 8 or 7?
No, 8's when Michael left because we only got season 9 where it was just.
I thought season 8 was Robert California.
Well, he left. Michael left very early. I believe, if I believe correctly, he left pretty early in season 8, and then you get Will Ferrell, then you got Robert California that went on there.
Then it's right before Michael leaves in, just where him and Jim are like co-managers, and you kind of see
that was the season before that. Yeah, that was.
You kind of see, like you were saying earlier, you kind of see where Michael could have been Jim before.
And Jim could be very slowly becoming Michael.
Yeah. And that's probably my favorite season.
Oh gosh.
What about you, old Ray?
I'm looking over the stuff now because I didn't realize this was going to be one of the ones, and I think it has to be season 2 or 3 for me. And here's why. I'm looking over season 2, and season 2, episode 1 is the Dundies.
The Dundies is
Classic.
a great episode.
Yeah.
Season 2, or episode 2, is sexual harassment.
Oh my God.
Episode 3 is Office Olympics. Episode 4 is the fire. The Halloween episode is after that. Yeah. The fight. The client. Performance review. Like the Christmas party one, Booze Cruise. So
I love every single Christmas party episode.
Every single Christmas party one is
rockin'. Christmas is one.
Absolute. Me and Allison actually have. This is one of the times we do, because I don't watch as much of The Office or rewatch it as much right now, because there were a couple of years where I was trying to get. I would tell people, "Oh, The Office is great."
Michael left in season 7.
Was it season 7? Okay.
Yeah, he left in episode 21.
I would tell people, hey, you should watch The Office. And they're like, I don't know. And I'd be like, okay, come over. We'll watch it. So there were about 2 or 3 years where I rewatched The Office 5, 6, 7 times with different people. But the Christmas episodes, every Christmas, me and Allison sit down and go through all of the Christmas episodes. She usually makes it through about one of them. And then I watched the rest of them by myself while wrapping presents.
Yeah.
But like the Booze Cruise, where Jim finally tells Michael that he's in love with Pam. Then Michael has the secret is later on. Dwight's speech.
Dwight's speech is
maybe one of my top episodes.
Just channeling Mussolini.
Because when I first watched The Office through, somehow I missed that episode. And then later on, they had an episode where they referred to it, and I didn't know what they were talking about. And then when I went through, I saw it again. So it's one of those things, like when I was a kid, sometimes there would be things that I would watch not as much as the other things, so they became my favorite. So that was one of them, but it's just so good, especially afterwards, because Michael's mad that Dwight is speaking to all these people and they're loving it, and he's sitting at the bar.
Because Dwight comes.
Well,
the lady came and she wanted to order a drink, and the bartender's like, "Well, where's your ID?" She's like, "Well, I don't have my ID." And he's like, so she goes to her room to get her ID, and she hasn't came back. And he's like, probably was trying to drink. She's probably drinking at the minibar. And it's just like this weird exchange, and Dwight's laughing and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, so I heard Dwight did a good speech, or so I heard. But you know what? I entertained Dwight, who entertained, like 100 people.
Yes.
100 people is what I entertained.
Thousands,
thousands. And like he just morphs it to where he was
which
the guy.
Michael Scott is incredible at. And that was just one of those times where he's like, I entertained the person that entertained thousands.
Yes.
So as you can say, so like he's just great at that. And that is such a Michael's birthday, drug test, conflict resolution, and casino night. So these are all like such classic episodes.
They're all, but the thing that I find is like every episode, something comes on. There's a pivotal scene in there where you're like, this episode has this.
And just watching the 2 episodes we watched tonight, it was like, I've seen these multiple times, but there were still times I was laughing so hard I was crying.
Yeah. Well, like one of my is the Golden Ticket episode, where Michael just he takes 5 golden tickets. And he's like running through the warehouse, putting them on random pallets, but it turns out all the pallets were going to the same place. So they the company calls, and it's like this huge company, like it's one of their biggest clients. They got 5-10% off tickets that aren't limit per one.
Yeah.
So they get 50% off. And David Wallace calls up, and he's furious. And he's like, who did this? And Michael's like, we hired an outside firm. He's like, okay, well, what was his name? He's like, no, okay, we didn't do it. It was someone. It was internal. He's like, well, was it Jim? He's like, no. He's like, was it Dwight? Yes. So then he like talks Dwight into taking the fall for him. So because he doesn't want to get fired, of course. Dwight agrees, and then David Wallace comes in, and by the time he gets to the office, he's changed his tune. He loves the idea, and Michael's just furious.
Yeah.
And so, like Dwight's up there, everyone's, like, clapping, and, like, they're all aware that, Dwight was falling on a sword from Michael, but they're all like, good job. Even Creed's like, good job, kid. And Michael comes out, he's like, hey, how'd you get that idea? How'd you get that idea, Dwight? And he's, like, just so angry and accusing. And just loved it.
So petty.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Because I was trying to explain to Charles, because it's like throwing him in head first. You don't know anything about these characters, but it's like Michael is an idiot. He's kind of a jerk, but he's very lovable.
Yeah, he has a heart of gold. So that kind of goes in. So what draws you to the show, or what drew you to the show, if that works better for you? Because I think all of us keep it as it's one of our top shows. What draws you to?
I think it's as out there as everything is, and how big the characters are. They're people I know.
Yeah,
they're just a little bit exaggerated. You know what I mean? Like, I know people that are Dwight Schrute. I know Jim Halperts. I know Stanley's. I know these people. So it feels very real to me. It's the same. I like Mike would get this, but y'all aren't into Wes Anderson films. It's the same way. They're weird characters, but they're really not, because like the things that they do seem so normal and human to me that I know people like that. So that's one of the things to me. The Office,
it's just slightly exaggerated, but it was definitely there.
What about you, Teach?
I don't know. It's different for each kind of era, I guess you would call it, of the show, because it's long enough to where it has its own, like, different time frame. So when you're watching the first set of it, it's that Jim and Pam story, and you don't realize until later just how long they dragged that out.
Yeah.
And then...
But I feel like I never felt like it was being drug out while it was happening.
No, it doesn't feel like it is, but when you look back at it, it's like, holy crap, that's like season 5 or season 4 or 5 before they even get together or whatever.
I think it's by the end of season 3 is where he finally asks her out.
Yeah.
And then 4 is like, when they kind of, because they're hinting if they're dating or not.
Yeah.
And then I don't think they get married till the next season after that.
Yeah.
So season 5 they get married, yeah.
Yeah,
which is a beautiful episode.
That is, that's great.
God, it's so
and there's
good.
so many, and there's those cringe-worthy moments too, like Dwight kicking the chick in the face during the dance down the aisle.
Yes, yes.
That, and then when Michael does leave, and you're kind of like, well, what in the world are they going to do now? And the search committee and Robert California coming in, and it's just like, holy crap, this is just really insane where this is going. So, I don't know.
To me, one of the biggest things I think is the show always has an overall very upbeat feel to it.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows that, like, you're never really, like so many other shows where they try and pull on your heartstrings for, like, the tear jerkers, and so you'll definitely cry, but it's usually happiness. Tears of joy.
Well,
like,
there
it's
are really sad times. Like
there are some sad episodes.
Near the end, the Pam and Jim thing got really sad.
To me, they tapped around it. They never went.
No, they didn't.
They didn't go as dark as they could.
And there were times when there was one episode where I was on the way the episode was going, I was like, oh, man, I might be done with The Office. It's one where Robert California takes Erin home because she's drunk.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to take advantage of her.
But then he doesn't.
I'm really upset. And I'm like, why would The Office has never done anything like this? Because Robert California is a weird character.
Yeah.
And then he just drops her off. He just wanted to make sure she was home.
And
it was sweet.
What does she say? Is like Robert California said, "I was a ride, I wouldn't, or he was a ride, I wouldn't survive," and I believe him.
yeah. Because that could have gotten really dark.
But to me, I think the end of the day, as a quote I love, is it never really did though. Like
absolutely,
like if you 9 seasons of it, I don't think there was ever anything that was necessarily truly heartbreaking. Like there was definitely some sad parts. Like there was parts where I felt bad for Dwight when Angela wouldn't get with him. Which was such a weird relationship anyway. But I love how dysfunctional that relationship was.
You feel weird being so sad for Dwight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, because there were some of those in the end with the baby and everything that was heartbreaking.
And the thing with Dwight now is like he could be a character that you could hate so much. They built him almost as a semi-villain. Just very despisable. You just didn't like him. But then by the end, you really just loved Dwight.
By the very last episode, you're just like, man, Dwight is amazing.
Yeah. And then you're like, the whole time, you're like, when you kind of look back and you realize that Dwight and Pam are technically best friends.
Yeah.
Like, as the show evolved, like they became such good friends.
We also, before Charles got there, we watched the George Foreman episode. Yeah. Where Mike...
I like the smell of bacon when I wake up.
And I don't have a butler, so I have to do it myself.
Oh, my God.
So,
he has the head injury, but he's being really sweet to Pam.
Dwight has a head injury, runs into a pole, gets in a car wreck trying to save Michael's life after he steps on a George Foreman. Turns out he apparently had a concussion, but during this whole episode, he's like...
joking around, friendly with
Pam. He's like,
I know this one Russian website that you can get songs for $0.01 each. Only they're all in Russian.
And she's like, Dwight,
joking,
like, just kidding. Yeah. Why would they? I mean, why would?
And she's like, that's
why
kind
would you
of.
Listen in
she's like, she's like, Dwight's joking with me. Oh my God, me and Dwight are friends. Like, just like,
so when they find out, like, he almost passes out, and she like helps him to the elevator, and she's like, I just want to tell you goodbye, and gives him a hug.
Like, where are we going?
He's like, I'll be back though, and she's like, yeah, but it won't be the same.
Yeah. But there's the heart of that show, though. It really
huge.
It brought me into it, and then it makes me keep going back because there's so many shows I've watched and I loved, but there was so much. They were so emotionally draining. of highs and lows.
I don't think there's any show I've watched as much as that.
Yeah. Yeah, this show to me is just is an emotional high most of the time. You go into it, and if you're feeling down or you're just kind of in a funk, like that's a show that to me just can cheer me up.
Yeah.
Make me laugh, it'll put a smile on my face, and kind of gives me a quick 30-minute vacation away from whatever's going on. It is literally one of my go-to. If I'm having trouble sleeping, watch The Office. And I'll watch an episode or two. And the only danger from it is sometimes I'm trying to go to sleep and I end up waking up and watching like 3 or 4 episodes because you're so hooked up.
Well, I think one of the positive things with it is that almost all of the characters in it were actual writers.
A lot of them were.
They did a lot of the shows. So like Kelly Kapoor,
BJ or Ryan,
BJ Novak, wrote a big amount of the shows.
They Toby was a huge writer in it.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Toby was just supposed to be an extra, and one of the NBC executives were like, I really like that redhead guy. Let's put him in more of it. But any episode Toby writes, he's never in it. He wouldn't put himself in a show. He hates acting. That's
hilarious.
Yeah, he's very wasn't something he wanted to do. So, all right, moving to the next question. Was Jim really that likable a character? Because I always thought Jim was kind of a jerk, and he got whitewashed as his hero. And I was watching the episode where because Charles, the temporary, I guess I would call him the DM or
Charles here.
Yeah, Charles over here, but no, like Charles is the guy that he became Michael Scott's boss, intermediate boss between him and David Wallace. He comes in and he was like taking a real world character and from the business world and putting him in The Office.
Yes,
because The Office is such a it's a workplace where there's really never any work going down, No. And here comes a guy
almost no consequences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here comes a guy that literally you've worked with this guy. He's he was a real district manager is what I would call him, and he's put into this world, and like Jim, who's always liked by everybody. Because of and it's one of those things. The first time you watch it, you kind of feel bad for Jim. You're like, man, this guy doesn't like Jim.
This is where he decides he's going to stop doing pranks and grow up, right?
Or
is that it's before that because he's there in the tuxedo the first day.
He wears the tux, but then even later on, like there's an episode or they're in a conference room. Charles is up there talking, and Dwight's sitting there with his mouth open, breathing out his mouth, and Jim's like, "Why are you breathing out your mouth? Stop it! Come on, stop it!" And Charles like, "Jim, can you look up here?" And he's like, "Oh no, yeah, I was." And he was about to try and make fun of Dwight, and he's like, "No, I just need you to be quiet and pay attention." And you realize that Jim's just really a jerk the whole time, but Michael just likes Jim so much. He kind of put it off, and like you're like, man, Jim is in the wrong a lot.
Yeah,
absolutely. But
he was kind of saying,
if you've ever had one of those workers like Dwight.
Oh, and at the same time, like I said, I'm not vilifying Jim in a whole lot of ways. I like Jim for most part, but like there's little things about him and Pam, where they had this
Jim was absolutely an underachiever.
Yeah, they had that we're better than everybody thing.
Yeah. Like these are supposed to be their friends, and like or the episode like Robert California's Party where he talks about how he's just going to be in and out real quick and how to avoid situations. Like, man, just be their friends, man. Just hang out.
Well, the other side of it though, I mean, do you see the awkwardness of like stuff like the dinner party and things like that. I mean, I can understand having a policy of bye, type thing. You show up enough to say that you showed up.
But then again, we're now talking real world situation. This is The Office world where everything is like, a different level of closeness. Like, that's an office where everyone knows.
It was one of those things where we see through this documentary how ridiculous everyone in this office is. There is no one in this office that's like normal. The normals you get are like Stanley or Toby. And
Toby became weird.
Toby got way weird.
Creepy. Yeah, like
he wasn't at first. He was just fine. He was sweet.
But like when he started liking Pam, it got real.
Like you see that and you're like, okay, if I was in this situation, if I worked at this place, I would want to distance myself a little bit because the only other two people that are like normal are Jim, Pam, Karen was kind of normal. Yeah. Like Andy,
Karen was kind of normal.
Karen was very much the similar. Like actually, everybody in the other branch
was pretty normal. Yeah.
And when and that's why they came over. It's like they're
except for when Jim was there. When they were in the other branch, Those were some of my favorites when they would be like, all right, we're going to go play video games. And Jim's like running in the corner throwing grenades at himself.
As their office building things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely could work in that branch because it's like, all right, I'm going to sit around and do nothing and get paid. And I'm a joker. You take Creed, the absolute best character who doesn't even know what he's like, what is my position? Quali. And like, he was just like, he couldn't even remember what his actual job was. Like, because
there was that one time that something was
quality control is what he was.
Yeah.
And they had the piece of paper came out with the mouse
duck.
having sex with the duck. And they're like, Creed,
he's
you
like,
really screwed the cooch.
Mine.
And I love, he's like, I'm supposed to go down every Tuesday to the plant and make sure everything's right. And the 1 year I skip doing that, this happens.
Creed is, man, he just had those little tidbits because he wasn't in it a ton.
No, he was a big character.
Was in it, he was still the show.
Yeah. When he became the damn branch manager, they're like, well, who's been here the longest?
Oh, my God, yeah. Get me our biggest client on the phone.
So who's y'all's favorite character?
If I had to choose,
if you had to pick one,
it for me, and it's just because he was just used. It is Creed. Like he's like, because of the little like Creed thoughts
just
and
the
stuff.
Gold that comes out.
He's pure gold. There's not one scene where he was in it. Like I was watching an episode where he's playing chess with Jim. Mm-hmm. He's like, I really need to set you up with my daughter. He's like, I'm dating Pam. He's like, really? I thought you were gay. He's like, then why are you trying to set me up with your daughter? Like just just very Creed like
the time he came in for Halloween covered in blood.
He's like no one steals away from Creed or steals from Creed Bratton and gets away with it. The last person that did was named Creed Bratton.
There's so many golden Creed things.
Yes. What about yourself?
Me, it has to be Kelly Kapoor.
Kelly
again was another one that like stole the show because she would just pitch these fits or just always say she was pregnant.
When her and Angela were fighting over Charles.
Yes.
Yes, Charles, you wanted me. That line. Oh my God.
Because she didn't come into her own till like maybe a couple of seasons in.
Well, watching the first season, she is plain reserved.
Yes.
Like wears like secretary outfit with the bun.
Because even
it was like it wasn't until almost the end of season 2, season 3 where she kind of started developing the more Valley Girl-ish persona.
Because there's the episode where they do the what is it? Is this
cookie? You want the cookie?
Yeah,
that's season.
She just slaps the shit out of Michael.
Yeah.
Up until that point, she had hardly even been in.
Well, even that, she was still really reserved because that was Diversity Day.
Yes,
that was the last episode of season 1, I believe, and it was one of those things like where like Michael's trying to really get the blood flowing, and she walks in, has no idea what's going on. He's like, "Oh, Kelly, you want another cookie?" And like just being overly racist, and she just smacks the shit out of him. But then later on, she just became this like OMG, LOL, BRB girl, like and. So weird choice, right? Very weird.
I loved any interaction with Kelly was always because she was another one like Creed that things would just be out there.
She was definitely a crazy one. What about yourself?
I know it's an easy one, but I'm gonna say Dwight.
Oh no, I love Dwight because I love Dwight. Dwight's character was just so rich.
Where are the guys' vaginas at?
Yeah, like just the silliness.
Vaginas at
the Beet Farm, just the Battlestar Galactica fan, just everything about him was just good. You know who was another like a guy that really got me like because it might have even been it was season 2, season 3 like because at first I was like The Office looks stupid, I'm not going to watch it, but it was actually Daryl.
Yeah, Daryl. Daryl's another one that's amazing.
Very small, but like just like when he's like he's like Michael's like Daryl. Are you from the streets? Yeah, I'm from the streets, man. And he's like
he just
loves the street.
And he's like, what would you do if someone dissed you? Oh, dissed you, man. Well, we had this thing in the hood called tickle fingers. And you start tickling the other guy, he start tickling you, and next thing you know, you start laughing, you go get ice cream. And just like that story, and like when Michael would be like, keep it a boopity bop. And I
didn't like it when they moved Daryl inside the office, so.
And like I got
it
why
was
they
too
did
much
it. They were trying to bring him back, more because he was a good character, but that was
too
one
much of a good thing.
Only qualms with that show is sometimes the writing was a little weak on reasonings for things to happen. Like bringing him upstairs. Like, he impressed Joan with his idea about how the trucks would move and packaging, but from there, nothing really happened. Or like Jim's business. We were talking about like Jim, like near the end of the season, decides to go, start his own company.
Yeah.
And like they never really described it, and it was just so blatantly, it was very blatant that they had no idea really what it was or why he would go do this. So, and it was those little things.
They just threw it in like he's always wanted to do it.
Yeah,
but
it was this idea I had in college, and you worked directly with the talent.
You sort of got an idea throughout the whole entire thing that Jim was into sports because he would talk with Daryl about it.
Sports.
So it was a stretch, but I mean,
yeah. Well, and and that's really nitpicking on things. Yeah. But sometimes some of the pivotal scenes that they would try and push around, there wasn't a whole lot to back it. It was just more like, this is happening to make all this other stuff happen.
And then some of the, just like for my choice for Dwight, just like the duel.
There's so much. There's just so much.
Yeah.
Remember when Andy tried to run over Dwight with his Prius?
Yeah, the duel.
Yeah, the duel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
gosh,
all in all, I think we'll put a period on this sentence of The Office. So because like I said, there's so much you go into.
When we have more time, we'll hit it some more.
Yeah,
maybe next week. We'll see.
We'll see, or we'll bring it back, and we'll once Charles starts.
Yeah,
we'll start breaking it down season by season, and maybe kind of go a little further with you guys. Let us know if you like The Office. Maybe we can talk with you guys more. But that has been it for Nerds Who Get Laid. Sometimes next week when we come in, I'm sure we're going to be talking a whole lot about Deadpool because we got that dropping on our asses this week coming up.
Daredevil?
Yeah, Daredevil. I'm sorry, Daredevil. Yeah, Daredevil's about to drop. Sorry. I got the legal download of Deadpool. I got out the red box. No, but we'll have Daredevil to talk about and so much more. So
and then the countdown. For Batman versus Superman.
Yes.
Next week.
Yes.
Are you as stoked for Batman versus Superman as I am for Civil War right now, Nate?
I'm very, very excited.
I'm stoked for both of them.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I really am.
No, but
I've said it before. The first trailer had me stoked. The second trailer kind of cooled me down. That third trailer for Batman vs. Superman, I'm back on. I wasn't off board, but I'm on board big now.
It looks like it's going to be the best movie ever made. So that's it for Nerds Get Laid. Talk to you guys next Monday. See you later, bitches.
Later. Dicks.
Hey, nerds! Tired of getting laid sometimes?
Listen to Watch Talk Wrestling and you may never get laid again.
So no need to worry about the AIDS.
Wait, you mean Super AIDS?
Watch Talk Wrestling covers the Monday Night Wars from 20 years ago.
Raw versus Nitro, including the pay-per-view.
Your host, Scotty Stevens and the Pallone Star.
That's us.
Relive all the action with no condom.
So crack a beer open and bareback it with us.
Watch Talk Wrestling, the Monday Night Wars.
Find us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
Available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean.
WatchTalkWrestling@gmail.com.